An organization is trying to bring more low-income housing to Pittsburgh. I'm Melissa Alexis, and I'll have more on this story coming up.
Plus, Pittsburgh schools decide whether to lengthen the school day to make up for missed snow days.
In the class behind me is a student that wins a high honor from the Kansas City Secretary of State. I'm Lonnie Walton and Neota Shea. I'll have that story coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Cherokee County authorities investigate a weekend stabbing incident. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Cherokee County deputies responded to a report of a physical disturbance yesterday when they arrived to the scene on the 1700 block of Northwest Highway 7. Deputies discovered gunshots had been fired, but no one was struck. Authorities learned 2 people had left the scene and one of them had possibly been stabbed. When deputies located the injured subject, they found that was the case. Authorities took the 23-year-old subject to Mercy Hospital Columbus and then by med flight to a Joplin hospital. Some low-income housing could be making its way to Pittsburgh. The housing would be a 42-unit apartment. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more on the project.
We take care of our community, and we do have people who are unsheltered right now.
It's an apartment complex that the executive director of Building Health, Inc. says a number of people in the Pittsburgh area could qualify for.
There's about 1,088 jobs in the region that would qualify to live in this apartment.
Building Health, Inc., which is a subsidiary of the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas, and Vecino Group, a company headquartered in Springfield that provides affordable housing, are partnering in hopes of bringing a 42-unit low-income apartment complex to Pittsburgh.
This is an opportunity for anybody earning wages at about $16.70 an hour. So in a lot of our industries, that's entry-level positions. Very beneficial too for people who are in retirement or on Social Security income, whose income doesn't appear to be increasing.
The city of Pittsburgh has committed a low-interest loan of $170,000 towards the project.
I'm grateful for the support of the Pittsburgh Economic Development Advisory Committee, who recommended the $170,000 low-interest loan to the project, and then also the city commissioners who approved that loan.
The low-income apartment complex would be located adjacent to the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas, which is donating the land. Of those 42 units, 12 will be reserved for specific groups in the community.
A person has to have a severe persistent mental illness and or a co-occurring disorder and be exiting homelessness. There's a variety of definitions of homelessness. It's quite long. Exiting an institution might be one of them. Exiting right off the street might be one of them.
Gray says this resource is a huge need in the community.
Homeless outreach activities at Wesley House have changed dramatically. We do not have an overnight shelter. We don't have transitional housing. And honestly, the best solution to homelessness is housing, permanent housing. So pleased to have a partnership with Vecino Group where they recognize the need for permanent supportive housing and are willing to set aside some units for that.
Their next step to make this a reality is applying for income tax credits from the Kansas Housing Resource Corporation. They'll find out if they've been approved in August. Reporting in Pittsburgh, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
If approved, Vecino Group anticipates construction to start in the first quarter of 2026. Pittsburgh USD 250 School Board made an early decision tonight not to extend the school day to make up for missed days. So far, the district has used 6 snow days, which only leaves a half day remaining for potential days off. And tonight, the board faced basically 3 choices. The first, to add 5 minutes to the end of each school day through the end of the year, or to convert the final half day of school on May 23rd to a full day. Now, the third choice, don't make any changes right now.
Currently, right now, the Board of Education tonight chose not to change our current class calendar or schedule because we still have about 1/2 of a day of school that was built into the calendar in case we have, for example, inclement weather.
So if the district does not lose any more snow days, the last day of school will be as it currently stands, a half day on May 23rd. Meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, temperatures got up to the low 70s today, and we started off about 40 degrees for our low. Now, our average temperatures were usually sitting in the 50s, so we're a good 15 degrees warmer than we should be. We're also seeing some pretty strong wind gusts continuing up to 40 miles per hour through this evening and even continuing into tomorrow as well. Now, we've got clear skies tonight. It's going to be a pretty nice night. Temperatures only dropping down to about 50 degrees as well, so overall mild night as well. Now, dry conditions do persist as well by noon, getting down to less than 40% humidity across the area, continuing to drop less than 30% humidity, even getting down to about 20%. So with winds continuing to gust and dry conditions, plus these warm temperatures in the mid-70s again, we may see fire weather concerns as we head through Tuesday, plus rain chances are in the forecast, and I'm going to have a look at forecast coming up.
Well, a reminder to all Missouri residents, the last day to register to vote in the April election is this Wednesday. Whether you choose to vote online or in person, you must be 18 years of age or older by the time of the election in order to vote. And you must provide some form of ID, like a driver's license, passport, or birth certificate.
We always remind people it's important if you want to have your voice heard in terms of the city council issues, school board issues, fire protection districts. All those are the opportunity to be able to get registered and make sure that when you go to vote, you let your voice be heard.
Once registered, you will be assigned a specific polling location that will appear on your voter ID card. If you can't make it on election day, you also have the option to either absentee vote in person or by mail, as well as an in-person, no excuse absentee voting. A senior at Neodesha High School is making history as the first in the state to be given the John Lewis Youth Leadership Award. This award symbolizes someone who supports the community through civic engagement. KOAM's Lonnie Walton has his story.
If I ever am elected governor, the Capitol will be an open office for any citizen to come in and have a conversation with me.
This is Tucker Leck, a 17-year-old senior at Neodesha High School. He was surprised in Spanish class today when Kansas Secretary of State Scott Schwab presented him with the John Lewis Youth Leadership Award.
I saw your camera, I'm like, okay, she's probably getting an award because she's an incredible teacher. And then I was able to see my mom and my dad, and I was like, wow, something's going on.
And it definitely wasn't for his teacher. It was for Tucker, who organized a voter registration event to teach youngsters about elections. Schwab says this is what the country needs.
And on a micro scale, this is what he's doing in his community. He's telling folks, you know, you own a share of your community, and to exercise that, you need to vote.
What's so compelling about this line of work is being able to make a difference, being able to give back, and secondly, seeing those citizens who can now register and contribute to our democracy, seeing the impact that has on our country.
And where does he get all this motivation? Let's talk to his parents.
He was our 80-year-old man in a child's body. So since he could talk, he's just always been very curious about politics and how our government works and how, how to promote democracy.
And when he asks his talented senior who are his inspirations, you may think it may be a politician, but he says it's the ones that love him most.
Mom and my dad are a huge inspiration to me. I love my family so much, and I'm the guy who believes in family. I think family is the core and the center to all success that you can have in this country. If state's office as a whole, I think is an inspiration to all Kansans who love our democracy, and especially Secretary Schwab.
Well, for the most part, reporting in Neodesha, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
And several people were nominated for the award, but no one had the volume of experience or engagement Tucker had. Congratulations to him. Well, coming up, not backing down.
The White House is downplaying reported tension between a cabinet member and Elon Musk. I'm Rebecca Castor in Washington with the details coming up.
But up first, the 4 most common signs of colorectal cancer. It's National Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month, and experts say more young adults are being diagnosed with this disease worldwide. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither talks to one of the researchers and has the 4 most commonly reported warning signs that everyone should know.
It's a troubling trend. New cases of colorectal cancer in people under age 50 have been rising at an alarming rate over the past several decades, and by 2030, it's expected to become the leading cancer-related cause of death for people ages 20 to 49.
We've always thought of colorectal cancer as a disease that mostly affects older people, and over the last couple of decades, we've seen the age for colorectal cancer go down.
Dr. David Lisko with Cleveland Clinic says it's still not clear clear why, but says 3 main factors can increase a person's risk of developing colorectal cancer: having a sedentary lifestyle, having obesity, and eating a diet high in red or processed meats.
I also have plenty of patients, unfortunately, with colorectal cancer who are young and healthy and fit and don't smoke and don't drink and eat a healthy diet and still get colorectal cancer. So while we know some of the risk factors, we don't know all of them.
Liska says everyone should be aware of the 4 signs more commonly reported in people who develop colorectal cancer: abdominal pain, rectal bleeding, diarrhea, and iron deficiency anemia.
One of the important things to realize is that colorectal cancer is very treatable, and if caught early, it's in most cases curable.
The best way to detect and prevent colorectal cancer is screening. It's recommended for everyone at average risk, beginning at age 45. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Health inspectors say they found some concerns in the kitchen area of Joplin's Cecil Floyd Elementary School, and they cite contamination from mice. In response, the school district says in part, quote, "We are working closely with pest control professionals and our custodial team to thoroughly address the problem and increasing preventative measures to ensure this does not happen again." Altogether, 7 places in Joplin failed the health inspection. They include a gas station, convenience store, a motel, and some restaurants. The Joplin Health Department has made it easier for the public to get access to those reports. You'll find a link at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, Lindsay is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later a student-run television station at Joplin High School holds an induction ceremony for its Wall of Fame, and a couple of familiar faces receive the high honor.
Well, overall, a pretty warm day today, though. Winds were gusting. Let's go ahead and take a look outside downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. We have winds still continuing to gust, but clear skies tonight. Temperatures only dropping down into the lower 50s, so we stay rather mild through this evening. And we do have those winds continuing to gust up to 25, even pushing 30 miles per hour out of the southwest. That's bringing in a few more days with dry conditions. So we're going to have dry air, windy conditions, and warm temperatures. We're starting off in the low 50s, warming up to mid 60s by 11 a.m. And then our high for the day, mid 70s. Now we do have this little shortwave trough trying to push through, brings in a cold front only hitting our northern counties. So by the morning, we're all staying clear. Now this little cold front pushes through, stalls out, and just sits right there north of Parsons, north of Pittsburgh, through Nevada. Temperatures may stay a little bit cooler in those northern counties where that front is trying to push through, and then it does retreat before our actual low pressure system moves in on Wednesday, bringing us a few clouds by noon on Wednesday. Temperatures reaching low 60s. We're only getting up to the mid to lower 70s again on Wednesday, and then rain chances stay mostly south of us. We got a lot of moisture down in Arkansas and even towards the east in Missouri. Not a lot of moisture in our area, still dealing with some dry conditions, so we're not seeing a lot of rain chances. And then clouds clear out by early Thursday morning. Winds pick back up though Thursday evening, gusting up to 30 miles per hour. Overnight, getting up to 40, 50 mile per hour wind gusts, and then even stronger winds through most of the day on Friday, gusting 50 to 60 miles per hour in certain areas. So Miami getting up to almost 60 mile per hour wind gusts, 45 mile per hour wind gusts, Independence, 40 in Yates Center and some of those northern cities. This is by Friday 4 p.m. and out of the southwest, so bringing again more dry air into the area, possibly causing another day with fire weather concerns. Then winds shift as that front pushes through early Saturday morning. We do still have some strong wind gusts as that front has officially passed us. Now, on top of that, we also could see some storms moving through on Friday. By 2 p.m., few showers start to push into the area. This is where the strongest part of the system is in our area. Just some heavy rain. May not even see some thunderstorms in the area. We might see a little popping up, but most of that develops outside of our area, even past Springfield. We do have some cloudy conditions as we go into Saturday as well. Now, Overall, it is a great looking week. Temperatures range in the mid to lower 70s. After that front passes on Friday, we drop down 15 degrees down to the mid 50s, but we're warming right back up on Sunday, low 60s and then 70s again to start off our next week.
Thanks, Lindsay. Well, 8 Joplin High School alumni were inducted today into the Jet HD Wall of Fame. Jet HD, also known as Joplin Eagles Television, is celebrating its 25-year anniversary. The program teaches students about audio and video broadcasting. Inducted alumni are those who have taken what they've learned from the program into the real world, including TV reporters, photographers, and musicians. KOAM's very own Chris Warner, class of 2005, and Samantha Walker, class of 2020, were inducted today.
Jet HD is the reason I went into television. When I started this program, I thought it was just another way to maybe learn how to speak better, be a better journalist, because I wanted to do print. But this is the program that told me I wanted to go into TV. So I would go back to that person now, as I was as that student, and say, hey, your career is going to change.
It was learning a little more in depth than what I could learn on the job, because at that time I was still more behind the scenes at my broadcasting job. This was giving me more on air, if you will, experience in writing and producing and shooting and interviewing as well, conducting interviews with students and staff at the school.
Whole hallway up with kids. I want to celebrate as many kids that go through this program that do awesome things. It just shows you that they're capable of doing it, and I want to celebrate their successes.
Well, the instructors of the Jet HD program say they hope to soon have a full wall of alumni as they continue to teach students. Coming up, the rising cost of breakfast.
The most important meal of the day has gotten a lot more expensive. I'm Madison Allworth in New York. Coming up, I'll explain why the prices of eggs have gone up so much and what the U.S. government is doing to hopefully make your bacon, egg, and cheese a little more affordable.
The Justice Department is now investigating the rise in egg prices and whether major producers are violating antitrust laws. Fox Business correspondent Madison Allworth is at an Italian bakery in New York City with the story.
American farmers have been dealing with the bird flu since 2022. We've had an egg shortage for multiple years, but recently it's gotten very bad. If you can get your hands on eggs, they have gone from just under $4 in December to over $7 at last check. This is why the Justice Department is opening an investigation. They're looking into if major producers are violating antitrust laws by sharing information about supply and pricing, conspiring to keep prices higher. But the American Egg Board says farmers have lost 70 million birds since January of 2024. This is an issue of supply and demand.
That is a devastating impact on our supply. Those supply impacts are long felt. And maybe the only bright spot in this story is that Americans love eggs. And so we've had 24 consecutive months of record high demand for eggs. And what you get with that is you have very tight supply, very high demand, and you see the prices you see, period, full story.
And those higher prices hit businesses and then customers. Here at Rocco's, they're charging $1.50 extra for all of their egg dishes. I'm with the manager, Mary Josephine. Bacon, egg, and cheese, a New Yorker's favorite. This now costs $10.45. What has the reaction been from customers so far?
So far, so good. We've actually started this about 2 weeks ago in our Brooklyn location, and we haven't gotten any type of pushback from customers. I mean, I think our customers realize the cost of eggs when they go to the supermarket, so there's no big surprise, and it's probably a little expected at this point.
Got it. Thank you. You know, U.S. government also trying to bring more eggs into the market, looking for places to import them from. Turkey has said they're willing to import 420 million eggs to the U.S., but to put that in perspective, we produce that in about a day and a half. So economists say to make a real difference, we would need 1 billion eggs imported into the U.S. In New York, I'm Madison Allworth, Fox Business.
President Trump says the U.S. is in talks with 4 groups interested in buying TikTok. The Chinese-owned social media platform is facing an April 5th deadline to strike a deal or be banned in the U.S. Trump postponed a TikTok ban on his first day in office and has said he would be open to extending it again if necessary. We take you to Media Night for Pittsburgh High School's latest production of The Unsinkable Molly Brown next.
Well, it's a new year here and we
Pittsburgh High School Theater brings the legendary story of the unsinkable Molly Brown to life on stage. The journey of Molly Brown follows her life as she takes on high society, fights for what she believes in, and survives the Titanic with unshakable spirit.
I play Emma Stetson. I have a featured ensemble role. She was a real historical figure. She was a religious activist. And I think being in the ensemble, I get to be in a lot of different dance numbers with a lot of different people, but Emma Stetson's really important because of her real life activism.
The PHS Theater Department will perform this tale from history live on the Pittsburgh Memorial Auditorium stage. Performances are this Thursday and Friday at 7 p.m. and then on Saturday at 2 in the afternoon. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. President Trump returns to the White House after meeting with Elon Musk as Republicans unveil a new spending plan to keep the government open, facing opposition from Democrats. And as reciprocal tariff day approaches, President Trump escalates the trade war, vowing no country, including Canada and Mexico, will be spared, while markets react to the uncertainty and new tariffs impact U.S. consumers.
7. You're watching the 4 States most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Facing low levels of food, water, and medical supplies, the situation for tens of thousands of Palestinians across the Gaza Strip may be intensifying. This after Israeli officials order the power shut off across the territory. Fox News' Sue Guzman has the latest.
Efforts to secure stability in the Middle East grind on, with Israeli officials sending a delegation to Qatar Monday to try and advance ceasefire negotiations with Hamas militants in the Gaza Strip.
Dialogue means sitting, hearing what someone wants, and then identifying, does it fit with what we want or not? And then how can you get somewhere in the middle and not have a war?
The first phase of the ceasefire began in mid-January and recently ended. It saw the release of more than 24 hostages taken from Israel in exchange for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. Talks to promote a second phase have stalled. Israeli officials want Hamas to release half of the remaining hostages and extend the first phase of the deal. Hamas is calling for a full Israeli withdrawal from the territory.
We will employ all the tools available to us so that all the hostages will return.
On Sunday, Israel ordered electricity be cut off from Gaza, move coming a week after officials also stopped the flow of critical food and medical supplies into the region.
Last time we received aid, it was just a bag of flour, and that bag is not enough.
Meanwhile, this weekend was marked by demonstrations across Tel Aviv, with protesters taking to the streets Saturday, calling for the immediate release of the remaining hostages. Meanwhile, others demanded similar action as they camped outside the Defense Ministry headquarters.
Our message is clear. Give the negotiating team full mandate to end the war and get all the hostages back.
Sue Guzman, Fox News.
Well, U.S. government shutdown could be just days away, and both parties are pointing fingers. President Trump returned to the White House after meeting with Elon Musk as Republicans push a new spending plan to keep the government open. The GOP's continuing resolution would extend funding through September with a boost to defense spending and cuts to other programs. But Democrats oppose the plan, saying they won't give up Congress's power of the purse, while the president blames them for the standoff. Well, there's been a lot of uncertainty and changes when it comes to the president's tariff threats against Canada and Mexico. But it appears the president is not backing down. As Fox's Rebecca Castor reports from Washington, he's even saying tariff rates could increase.
April 2nd is Reciprocal Tariff Day for the White House. And President Trump says no country will be spared, even key trading partners like Canada and Mexico.
This country has been ripped off from every nation in the world, every company outside in the world. We've been ripped off at levels never seen before, and all we're going to do is get it back.
The looming trade war comes as Canadians elect their next prime minister, former Bank of Canada Governor Mark Carney. And it seems he has no plans to fold first.
And my government will keep our tariffs on until the Americans show us respect.
In a sit-down interview on Fox Business Sunday, Trump suggested tariff rates could increase and didn't dismiss possible economic pain as a result.
You know, the tariffs could go up as time goes by, and they may go up.
Are you expecting a recession this year?
I hate to predict things like that. There is a period of transition because what we're doing is very big.
The markets plunged at the open Monday morning on all the tariff uncertainty, and stocks just had their worst week in 6 months, with the S&P 500 dropping 3.1% and NASDAQ down 3.45%. Ontario Premier Doug Ford is also set to move forward today with a 25% tariff on electricity that will hit consumers in 3 states, Michigan, Minnesota, and New York. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Lindsay is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, from the world's smallest Lego brick to a doll's unexpected undersea adventure, Jeremy Roth shows us those stories and more in tonight's Take a Look at This.
Well, overall, a pretty warm day today, though. Winds were gusting. Let's go ahead and take a look outside downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. We have winds still continuing to gust, but clear skies tonight. Temperatures only dropping down into the lower 50s, so we stay rather mild through this evening. And we do have those winds continuing to gust up to 25, even pushing 30 miles per hour out of the southwest. That's bringing in a few more days with dry conditions. So we're going to have dry air, windy conditions, and warm temperatures. We're starting off in the low 50s, warming up to mid 60s by 11 a.m. And then our high for the day, mid 70s. Now we do have this little shortwave trough trying to push through, brings in a cold front only hitting our northern counties. So by the morning, we're all staying clear. Now this little cold front pushes through, stalls out, and just sits right there north of Parsons, north of Pittsburgh, through Nevada. Temperatures may stay a little bit cooler in those northern counties where that front is trying to push through, and then it does retreat before our actual low pressure system moves in on Wednesday, bringing us a few clouds by noon on Wednesday. Temperatures reaching low 60s. We're only getting up to the mid to lower 70s again on Wednesday, and then rain chances stay mostly south of us. We got a lot of moisture down in Arkansas and even towards the east in Missouri. Not a lot of moisture in our area, still dealing with some dry conditions, so we're not seeing a lot of rain chances. And then clouds clear out by early Thursday morning. Winds pick back up though Thursday evening, gusting up to 30 miles per hour. Overnight, getting up to 40, 50 mile per hour wind gusts, and then even stronger winds through most of the day on Friday, gusting 50 to 60 miles per hour in certain areas. So Miami getting up to almost 60 mile per hour wind gusts, 45 mile per hour wind gusts, Independence, 40 in Yates Center and some of those northern cities. This is by Friday 4 p.m. and out of the southwest, so bringing again more dry air into the area, possibly causing another day with fire weather concerns. Then winds shift as that front pushes through early Saturday morning. We do still have some strong wind gusts as that front has officially passed us. Now, on top of that, we also could see some storms moving through on Friday. By 2 p.m., few showers start to push into the area. This is where the strongest part of the system is in our area. Just some heavy rain. May not even see some thunderstorms in the area. We might see a little popping up, but most of that develops outside of our area, even past Springfield. We do have some cloudy conditions as we go into Saturday as well. Now, overall, it is a great looking week. Temperatures range in the mid to lower 70s. After that front passes on Friday, we drop down 15 degrees down to the mid 50s, but we're warming right back up on Sunday, low 60s and then 70s again to start off our next week.
Love it in the 70s. Well, you can get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. They're available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. You'll find them at the KOAM Skywatch Weather app. Coming up in sports, Girard girls basketball previews its trip to the state tournament. Plus, Webb City boys basketball host a district championship game. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
Eurofund USA and KO.
Hey, welcome into sports. I'm John Dales. We get started with Missouri high school basketball, where fewer and fewer of our local teams remain alive in the playoffs. Tonight, one hopes to win a district championship, while two others try to advance to the state quarterfinals. Class 5 District 6 Championship in the Cardinal Dome. Webb City taking on Parkview. Their last matchup wasn't even close. First quarter, Parkview with an early lead, and Desai Agree knocks down a corner three. Vikings up 6. Later in the first, Cardinals finding their rhythm. Holton Keith takes the contact, puts it off the glass and in, plus the foul. Parkview leads by 3 after 1. In the second, Trey Turner finds Mason Young, and he drains the 3. That gives Webb its first lead. Cardinals up by 3 at halftime. In the third, we keep going back and forth. Easton Nash hits a 3-ball from the top of the key. Vikings back on top. But Webb, again, keeping it tight. Eli Pace with a nice pass to Dalton Riggs. He connects from the corner. Cardinals up by 1 going into the fourth. But down the stretch, a couple big turnovers lead to this. Elias Govan gets vertical, and that all but does it. Cardinals unable to overcome some mistakes late in the fourth, and Parkview wins the district championship in hostile territory, 52-40. Webb City finishes as district runner-up. Moving over to Class 4 Aurora boys basketball as its season come to an end tonight. The Hound Dogs fall to Logan Rogersville 73-51 at sectionals. Similar story up in Nevada. Tigers fall to Center High School 45-36 in Class 4 sectional. They finished the year with a record of 21-7. Over in Kansas, 7 of our local teams have earned a trip to the state tournament. One of those is Girard girls basketball. The Lady Trojans are back at state for the second year in a row after going 21-2 and earning a sub-state championship.
It's a really great opportunity to be able to go to state. A lot of teams don't get it, and especially this is our second year going back to back.
We've developed a lot. We've had some young girls have to step up and play some bigger roles, but we've just been in that gym grinding every day and working as hard as we can to be the best team out there.
At first it was a little choppy, like our defense and offense was. We were just still getting used to it, and now we're really set into there, and our defense and offense has definitely improved.
We talked about the giant killers with this group, and they've kind of become the giant killers. They study scouts as well, or better maybe. The intensity these guys have on defense is just unbelievable. I've done this 26 years, and this is as good as I've seen as far as the defense, and I've had a lot of really, really good defenses.
Colgan boys basketball is also practicing at Pitt State this evening in preparation for a trip to state. In the quarterfinals of the 2A state tournament, the Panthers face the two-time defending state champion. That's undefeated Mound Ridge, but they've been battle-tested all season.
I think we're kind of, taking confidence in our approach and our schedule that we've been talking about, and just drawing confidence that we've played a lot of good teams like this. So, in all those games, it's just you want to win the game, but you got to break it down and take it quarter by quarter and take it, 4-minute stretch by 4-minute stretch.
It feels good that we were able to still play because last year our season got cut short. We lost in a game that we probably shouldn't have, but it's good to be back in Manhattan.
It definitely motivated me. Last year as a freshman, it hurt losing those seniors and losing with them. And like every practice we say St. Isidore pray for us just to get back to the church in Manhattan.
And one of the crazy things about the Colgan boys team, they're a Class 2A school. They didn't play against any 2A teams until sub-state, until the playoffs, playing all against 3A, 4A, 5A schools all season. So that kind of gets them ready to play these better teams.
Yeah, you hope that works to their advantage for sure. And it's a great idea being able to practice at Pitt State too.
Yeah, for sure.
Get a different gym feel in there. All right, thanks, John. We're back with more news after this. A micro artist known for creating amazing works you can't even see just broke the mold, crafting the world's smallest Lego brick. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
Take a look at the world's smallest Lego brick, which Guinness World Records says is roughly the same size as a human white blood cell. This infinitesimal trinket is the latest wondrous work of art by the UK's David A. Linden, a self-described micro-artist who's made a career of creating and sometimes recreating fascinating objects so small they can't be seen without the aid of a microscope. Linden says it's an artistic challenge that is demanding both physically and mentally. His latest little labor of love, a series of tiny Lego bricks seen here on the head of a pin, the tiniest of which captured the record of world's smallest handmade sculpture, reportedly 4 times smaller than the previous record holder. Speaking of toys, a Massachusetts toddler almost had to say farewell to a beloved baby doll after reportedly dropping it in a massive ocean tank at the New England Aquarium.
I was holding her over to see the turtles, and she dropped her. My heart just stopped, and there were maybe like 70 people up there, and there was like a collective
Thankfully, the turtles didn't eat the doll. In fact, they gave it one shell of a fun ride before the aquarium officials fished it out and returned it to its rightful owner. Don't worry, they sanitized it first.
Honestly, that doll was cleaner after we were done with it before it hit the water.
Finally, speaking of toys for girls and boys, a vintage book on the subject is now an antiquity of note after being returned to a New Jersey library 99 years overdue. Mary Cooper found it among her late mother's belongings and could have been facing an estimated $18,000 in overdue fines. But thankfully, the Ocean County Library is now fine-free and instead is proudly displaying the readable relic in their historical archives. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Don't know if I would have returned it for that fee. Animal Control and Going Dutch season finales are part of what's on Fox TV this week. We take a look at this week's lineup next. Competition shows continue while a couple of comedies wrap up the season. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with a look at what's coming up on Fox TV this week.
Happy birthday.
Whose birthday is it?
Comedy series delivers season finales this week. Here's what's hot on Fox. Tuesday on Kitchen Nightmares, Gordon Ramsay helps the owner of a small neighborhood restaurant called Blake's Place Restaurant, switching focus from social media recognition to running a successful business.
What if it's primary spinal cord lymphoma?
After that, Amy is practicing medicine without supervision on Doc and working to diagnose her most complicated patient yet.
DJ Jazzy Jeff is in our house.
Wednesday, Who You Gonna Call? It's Ghostbusters night on The Masked Singer. The show celebrates the movie franchise and Group B performs.
I will go for Priscilla.
Then winners try to keep their turf on the floor, all vying for the $250 grand prize.
Yes, chef.
Thursday, chefs are tasked with making a next-level barbecue on Next Level Chef.
We want to borrow every single dog that you have.
Then it's the season finale of Animal Control with a groundbreaking ceremony at the new kennel.
Here's what we're going to do.
That's followed by the season finale of Going Dutch, with the Colonel going for a grand gesture after forgetting Captain Maggie's birthday. Friday, Fox Sports continues the season of Big East men's basketball with the tournament semifinal live from Madison Square Garden. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a baby monk seal who's recovering in Greece. Oh, sweetie. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.